anything else to say to the lovely people listening?
Hello, my name's John James, and I'm here with my co-host, fiance, and co-worker,
Bryony.
Hello.
I think he also missed out server breaker.
Yeah,
Causer of chaos.
She broke the server. So the website's been down for a few hours, but it's back up and running now. Would you like to explain yourself, Bryony, please?
First and foremost, I am incredibly sorry for my actions. Secondly, we've had a bit more traffic to the website than we were maybe anticipating.
Yeah.
So our server has been going a little bit slowly. So if you've gone on the website in the past couple of weeks, our nice new website, you might have noticed it takes a little bit of time to load and get going. No, you haven't gone back in time and started using dial-up internet.
Nope.
It's just our server. So we're currently going through the process of upgrading to a better server, faster server.
Yes.
So we were down last night. We should be back now. We are going to be down briefly over the weekend. You might be able to get on during the weekend. Mm-hmm. And if you do make a donation, it is perfectly safe. Everything's still super secure.
Yeah.
We still will know that you've made a donation. We'll still know where it's going. So don't worry. Everything is in safe hands. I will not make the same mistake again.
Okay. So, tell me what's been going on this week. What have we been up to, other than breaking servers?
Other than breaking servers,
Yes.
We've been sending out some donations.
We have, yes.
So, there have been donations going out for Arrive Alive.
They've had a medical first responders bag, which was an incredibly kind donation, because that was one of our more expensive items on the website. So, it's nice that somebody purchased that.
That will mean that one of the first responders around Birmingham will have a brand new bag to put their defibrillator and their oxygen supply in. So it means they can pull it out the car quicker, they can get to the people they're helping quicker. It really could be a life-saving donation.
It could. We've also had a number of things for Leeds Women's Aid.
We've had some children's pyjamas. We've had a colouring book. An adult's colouring book. Mm-hmm. And then we've also had some donations for a couple of the homeless charities in Birmingham as well. Some really, really nice donations.
And I think we've also, not long ago, I don't know whether it was this week or last week, we had some for Stopford Cats.
Oh, yeah, there was some cat food that went out.
Yep. So lots and lots of things. And it's only Wednesday, so nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Yes. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today was... We've addressed it already partly, but how we make or don't make money from what we do.
So if you've been on the website, if you've maybe seen us tweet about it, maybe you're psychic and you already know. We don't charge charities for our charity shops, do we?
No, they are completely free for all charities. They always have been and they always will be. That was one of the things that when we started this, it was really important to make it free. Whilst we have the big names like Centrepoint and Shelter and Big Issue North and all of these national and large regional charities, we also have a number of small volunteer outreach charities which are they wouldn't be able to be on our platform if we were charging them to be on there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense. So it's free for them. And also obviously, because we don't make any profit out of the sale of the items either, people wonder, how are you actually able to do this as a job?
Yeah. The reality of it is, we spent 18 months doing this completely voluntarily, putting our own money into building the website, putting our own money into building the app that we had at the time.
Yeah. And so, we were just self-funding it. And obviously, at the time, I had my own business in the hospitality industry, rest in peace. And but as of November, we got funding from GMCVO, which allowed us to continue to now. And the goal ultimately is to work with businesses in the areas where we work with charities. And we want to link the businesses with the charities. We want to have so that it's not just a case of on December the 1st, they think, right, we better give to charity, which is great, and they really appreciate that. We were just talking to Molly from Tower Sanctuary about this, And they really appreciate the Christmas donations and how generous people are. But what we want to try and do is work throughout the year with businesses to, I guess, increase their corporate social responsibility.
But to take away from the jargon of it, really, it's about helping businesses make more of an impact with their local community and with their local charities. Not just about ticking boxes, but actually about making a real difference for the people in their area.
But also we want to give them a platform to say this is the good work that we do. And we talked about this last time with Lenny about should people film the things that they do and blah, 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 blah. And we want to give a platform that says, look at these amazing businesses, look at the amazing work that they're currently doing and what they've done in the last month or the last 6 months, whatever, and allow them to tell their customers that this is what they're doing. So I guess what we're saying really is if you are a business owner or a manager or anything like that and you are looking for a different way to use your position to help charities in your local area, like right on your doorstep, and that could be animal charities, elderly charities, homeless charities, etc., then get in touch with us, because we need, not to sound beggy, but we need help as best we can. We do this for free because it's the right thing to do and we want to do it, but ultimately everybody's got to keep the lights on, haven't they?
Yeah.
And
we want to help you as much as we help the charities. And by working with us, you're not only helping the charities you directly provide donations for, but you're also helping keep our platform alive.
Well, that's the thing. That is the bottom line of this is, if a business was saying, well, yeah, but why do you want to do that? Ultimately, if you come on board with us as a partner, you are making it so that none of those charities have to pay for this. It remains free. And yeah, that's the bottom line. You're doing good work. You're allowing a platform to exist that continues other people to do good work and help out. And yeah, we're all fighting the same cause. So get in touch with us via the website if you are interested in discussing this further. So that's that bit.
That's our little
sort of call out. Yeah, sponsor us video. After this, we've got a talk with Steve Baker from inHope in Bristol, who are an amazing. Well, he'll tell you all about it.
He will tell you all about it.
Yeah.
But if you check out the website, you'll see that we ran a really, really lovely campaign with them over Christmas, where we were able to provide Christmas wash bag bundles, or help provide through the generosity of people donating. Yeah,
it was amazing, that one. So we did it in the wash bags. We did men's and women's, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a combination of men's and women's, and they had fresh underwear, they had some deodorant, they had their own wash bag, and it was just like a little bit that's theirs, that's new, that they could open at Christmas.
Think if memory serves, they told us how many they needed, and we hit that target. I think we gave them from that campaign, every single service user that they had got a wash bag.
Yeah, I think was 100 men and 25 women received a gift for Christmas.
Crazy. How cool is that? One of the things as well was we did a harvest campaign with them, which was really good.
And that's a whole variety of items. There was jeans, there was washing up liquid.
That really kicked off like the giving that was going on in Bristol.
It did.
From them.
Yeah.
So we also work with Borderlands in Bristol. We'll have to get other Steve from there on at some point to talk about the work that they're doing. But yeah, that's, I suppose, it from us today. Nice little short one. And
nice little short one.
And we will leave you with the chat with Steve. So thanks for listening out there, and we'll be back again very soon.
We'll speak to you soon.
Ta-ra. Steve, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, how are things over there at inHope?
Yeah, it's still, in some ways we've settled down into a new world, but we know it's not going to be a new world forever. And yeah, no, it's been a busy old year really, with the pandemic, with needs growing in certain areas of the charity, needs changing in other areas of the charity. The constant responding and needing to adapt to meet people's needs, to adapt to new funding opportunities, to adapt to remote working. It's been an interesting year, but we're still here and still supporting homeless, vulnerable people living in poverty in Bristol.
Excellent. I mean, you sort of just briefly went into there, but first, if you could tell us about inHope and the work that you do as a charity.
No problem. Yeah, so we're a Christian charity. We were set up probably about 35 years ago, inspired by the question of a homeless person who asked a group of Christians who were out one evening, what has the church ever done for me, when they were talking about church and faith. And that question kind of inspired the formation of the charity, which has evolved over kind of 35 years and become the charity it is today. It offers a whole range of services, provision in terms of food, practical support. Our Wild Goose Homeless Drop-In offers kind of hot meals and kind of clothes and shower facilities. Our South Bristol Food Bank kind of provides emergency food parcels for people. So we offer provision, we offer shelter, most notably our women's night shelter, but also people coming in and sheltering, particularly on cold days like today, sheltering from the cold in our Wild Goose Day Centre. We offer life skills, supporting people in their recovery from homelessness and addiction and trauma and poor mental health. And then there's areas that we're developing as well. So areas around housing, employability, engagement, offering people kind of opportunities to connect. And faith's a part of our work as well. It's no obligation at all for people to have a faith. Anyone can come to our services. There's no obligation, but we do offer them the opportunity, and many people have found kind of faith a part of their journey to recovery. So we do a whole wide range of things, and it seems to be developing all the time, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really, really fantastic. And where do you sit in amongst all of that? What would you say your role predominantly?
So my role's the development and relationships manager, which means I oversee the fundraising communications team. So basically any word which has more than 4 syllables in it is what I do. But it's wider than that as well. It's about building partnerships with people who want to work with us, businesses, churches, individuals, schools, anyone who kind of wants to work with us to end homelessness and poverty in Bristol, we kind of work with. So, and it's kind of my job to go and build those relationships, secure funding in some places, pro bono support in other ways, or actually just kind of create opportunities for us to work together on things.
Sounds great. So what made you get into this work? How did you find yourself at inHope?
It's a patchy old journey, really. My background, I trained in Bristol as a youth and community worker. So I've spent most of my working career, the last kind of 20 years or so, working with young people, but working in the context of community. So kind of believing in the power of community to address the challenges and issues that people face. And that kind of obviously applied in a youth work context, but it also kind of applies in many other contexts as well. And kind of the issue of homelessness, of poverty, challenges that people face. And actually that kind of background of community work has proved to be really helpful. I moved to inHope about 2 years ago in March, having kind of developed skills in fundraising, in kind of strategic development, in kind of working with organisations, in charities. And so lots of the skills were transferable, but there was also kind of a personal connection to the charity as well. My parents had volunteered within the homeless drop-in. My brother actually had been part of the life recovery programme as part of his recovery from addiction. So there was a kind of a connection there. And then when the opportunity came up to apply for the work, apply for the role, it was like, actually, this is an opportunity to kind of pull a whole load of things together. Faith, again, played a part of it, a belief that actually living in a society where poverty and destitution is common is not a society that we should accept. So yeah, just that opportunity to be able to be part of an organisation that does something to challenge that was really important.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of your job that you get to do?
I think that the most rewarding, the best part of my job is around working with people. And actually, whether that's volunteers, whether that's staff, whether it's the service users that kind of come and use our services, actually just that connection with people, that sense of building community is lovely. Actually, it's a really kind of nice environment to work in, and it is great to be with. But actually, I guess the most rewarding part is around enabling supporters, people who want to make a difference, people who see a problem and want to solve it. Yes, through raising money, but through contributing their time, contributing their skills, and just kind of actually just sharing information about us as well. So the reward, I guess, of helping people fulfill their own kind of values and their own purposes in their lives by helping others and setting up the environment for that to happen, that's amazing. The amount of times I've heard volunteers or supporters come and say, oh, I wanted to come and give something back to society or give back to Bristol, but actually I've learned more, I've made more friends, I've made more contacts, I feel better about myself, and that's just massively rewarding to being involved in bringing all those things together.
We've definitely felt it, that although it's been a really tough year for many, we've been able to see the community a lot more, and the love that's in the community for those less fortunate themselves. And I think it's kind of restores faith. It's very easy to read horrible things in the papers and assume the worst in people, but for the most part, there are a lot of people out there looking to help, which is really fantastic.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, I saw that you'd posted out on social media looking for someone to help you translate some documents, and someone stepped up for that. I mean, something just as simple as that. I'm sure.
Yeah, and that was incredible. Just within our food bank, we kind of work in really diverse areas, and so we had kind of many people for whom English wasn't the first language, whether that was Arabic or kind of various European languages. So yeah, we just thought actually it'd be really simple if for the people with the right skills to be able to translate some of the messages about the food bank. We were kind of saying actually people were turning up and we were having to turn them away because they didn't have the right vouchers, and we kind of had to support them, and it was taking a lot of effort just to get people that really basic support. And actually just a really simple thing like saying, right, can you translate this A4 document into Arabic or whatever language it was, just so that we can give it to people and you avoid all the miscommunications, and then people kind of know exactly what it is that we're offering and how they can get support. It just made such a difference. It literally took 2 or 3 days to turn it around. We put a shout out on social media, and then within 2 or 3 days we kind of had those responses back. So it's really amazing.
Yeah,
and I bet it really reduced the stress for the people having to go through an already stressful situation, to not have then a language barrier in place. I mean, I know, having spent time living abroad myself, the language barrier can be one of the most stressful parts of something, just not fully understanding what's going on. So I'm sure.
No, we just take it for granted, I guess, don't we? Everything's our own language, and how difficult it is if it's not in your own language, the language you kind of think in, or the language that you just naturally communicate in. It's incredible the difference it makes.
Yeah. How is inHope, besides the obviously having to adapt to mobile working, what else has been going on to adapt to the current situation in terms of the lockdown and in terms of the health of everyone involved?
Yeah, it's one of those that's really evolved over the year. Remote working's been challenging, but actually our key frontline staff have remained on the front line still. Actually, so we haven't furloughed anyone, so we kind of carried on going as a charity. The homeless drop-in, we kind of never a charity to make things simple for ourselves. We'd also kind of planned a refurbishment to start on the 23rd of March last year, which was the day the lockdown happened. Which actually turned out to be a real blessing, because we'd made plans to open the drop-in from the chapel next door. So actually the plans were still there, still do that. We moved things to the front and kind of did a takeaway service rather than kind of a come in and sit down service, but actually the plans were already in place. So that was a blessing. We've had to move courses online, particularly our life recovery programs, which has been interesting. I think actually it's been a really useful way to be able to connect with people throughout the lockdown, and to be able to kind of provide support and input and training that means actually people don't have to completely put their lives on hold, but actually just that connection for people has been really important. Yeah. Our support for vulnerable women has had to change dramatically. Ring of Hope Women's Night Shelter, like most multiple kind of occupancy night shelters up and down the country, had to close. which meant that we kind of had to provide support in different ways, kind of that practical helping women into accommodation, providing kind of emergency food parcels or practical support. And again, just kind of overcoming that isolation. The food bank's just been crazy. Just in terms of, we've moved to, at the beginning of the year, kind of moved to delivery services. At some point we had this crazy system where we had British gas vans who had been furloughed delivering food for us all over the country, all over the city, which was amazing. And then as kind of lockdowns, as we went through the lockdowns, and as we got better at kind of managing kind of PPE and protection within our workplace, actually we've moved back to kind of having centres where people can come and collect their food, but that's going to change. And we've seen demand for food double in the food banks over the year. Last year we served something like 6,000 people. We're on track to serve 12,000 people this year. So yeah, just the scale of that has been absolutely mad, really. And doing all that whilst working remotely, whilst in remote offices and refurbishing. I think what it has offered, particularly in my role, is the different opportunities to connect with supporters, whether that's kind of virtual meetings, whether that's kind of one-off courses or one-off of things, but they're taking place online, and people who, I guess, well, they're at home, they haven't got a lot else to do. So actually the opportunities to connect with supporters have actually, in some ways, increased because of the lockdown, and kind of learning our digital skills and perfecting the art of Zoom and all other sorts of things has been a learning curve, but it's been along the way.
No, I mean, in terms of ourselves, obviously we've seen amazing amounts of kindness from people with donations coming in, you know, especially during this time with people, financial uncertainty and those kind of things. We obviously try and make our podcast about positivity and the good side of the news, basically. What sort of things have you seen that of people going the extra mile to help out for what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, kind of the support that people have offered us through Hope Revolution, whether that's been our harvest appeals, whether that's been helping us to get Christmas presents together for our service users, it's just been an amazing blessing. So lots and lots of micro acts of kindness for that has been amazing. But we've been amazed by the number of volunteers that have just stepped up and gone completely above and beyond, whether that's kind of coming in, whether that's driving the vans over to the supermarkets to pick up food for us, or whether it's kind of people going and delivering food, whether it's people coming and serving week after week after week in kind of the homeless drop-in. And I wouldn't say with disregard to their own health, because we provide protection and kind of all the PPE and all that, so it's kind of as safe as we can make it. But even so, actually, just that commitment to being there week after week has been amazing. Just random things, really. We've had an email on Monday from a mum of a 10-year-old girl who had decided that she wanted to do something to raise money for a couple of charities, and she raised over £1,500 by shaving her hair.
Wow!
Half of which charities, so half of that came to us. And you're like, that came out of absolutely nowhere. Like, there was a connection with volunteering through the parents, but this 10-year-old girl who decided that she was going to raise this money was just, it's so heartwarming, actually, just because there's so many things that go on, and actually if you watch the news you can get dragged down, but actually you're right, the positivity of just going, actually there's individuals and there's groups and there's communities all over the place that are just doing amazing things and are doing what they can. It's kind of the Captain Tom effect, isn't it? People do what they can, and actually it all mounts up and makes a massive difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, many small acts of kindness all add up to one lovely feeling for everyone involved.
Absolutely, yeah. And we all kind of need that. I know life is tough for so many people, and actually we just need those kind of nice moments of light when people do something good, and it warms people's hearts.
Absolutely.
As a close, you need to always changing, as you said, you're constantly adapting to the situation. But what can people get for you right now? What can they purchase for you, or drop off with you if they're in the area and they already have them? What can they help you with?
Yeah, I mean, the things, you're right, it is ever changing. And right now it's about warmth. So warm gloves, thermal gloves, socks, particularly ladies' socks, sleeping bags. And then the ongoing, and this time last year we wouldn't have even thought about this, but things like PPE, hand sanitizer, face masks, sterile gloves, actually those things, we just fly through them, really, quite rightly, and we need to, but actually they're increasing in kind of things that, PPE, face masks, hand sanitizer, that I think they're all on the website at the moment. But those are the kind of things. But that would change as we go into the spring and things warm up. And hopefully the virus becomes slightly more under control. So yeah, keep looking out for it, I guess, is the message.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Steve, thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's been a real great insight into the work that you do.
Brilliant. You're very welcome.
You've been listening to the Give Today podcast with John, James and Bryony, and this week we were talking to Steve Baker from inHope. Don't forget you can bob over to givetoday.co.uk and donate to all your local charities that are listed on there by giving them the items they need. You purchase, we deliver. It's the simple way to give today. See you next week. Goodbye.
Ta-ra.